YouTube. Okay, it's working. Live on Facebook. Okay, we are ready. Let's do the intro.
You are listening to Musician Today, weekly podcast with your host. Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and awesome new music.
Woohoo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of Musician Today podcast, the show where we bring you awesome, independent, international artists from around the world and their most interesting, unique music. And today we have with us my very good friend Sarmad, who has created an amazing band, Ghulab Janamz, and he's right now in Pakistan, going live with us today. So Ghulab Janamz is an alternative new age rock band formed by Sarmad, who's an architect, songwriter, educator, artist, and composer. The band was formed back in 2016 when he met Idrees Ahmed in Lahore, Pakistan. Boleyga, or Aquarius Rising, is their first single based on climate change and the current world crisis. The Ghulab Janamz is an alternative rock band, and previously Sarmad lived in North America, where he was living in Toronto, Canada. That's how we met. So he received his diploma in musicology and learned songwriting from Miri Music School in Oakville, Ontario. He formed a band called the SAARMAD, and they actively performed in the local scene. Being an architect, he always wanted to explore creative arts and other aspects of performing arts. He learned creative writing and storytelling from renowned acting school, the Second City in Toronto. He has worked voluntarily with the FM radio University of Toronto to know more about the music business and the work that he was doing for local radios to get connected with the industry. Due to some family issues, he came back to homeland, Pakistan, and here he found a job as an instructor at a local architectural school where he started the experience with students. After that, he established his own studio for music, multiple studios for all the basic facilities, and also a small architectural office at home to look for some interesting projects. So for his profile, and being an internationally experienced and professionally trained artist, Sarmad started to meet and audition for different artists to complete the songs that he was writing, and at the same time he was struggling to financially support his music he had in mind. So prior to that, he had an acquaintance with renowned musicians and lessons player at the Lahore city. While doing so, he met Ken Zirig, drummer for Joel and Farhan Saeed, who introduced him to Amir Ajmal, an amazing composer, producer, and session player. They both started working together on songs. Sarmad initially wanted to sing the songs, but later decided to audition different singers for the lead singer role. And later on, he met Idrees Ahmed while attending a music session in Almara Arts Council. Idrees proves to be a great fit, his own deep baritone voice and high vocal range. So wow, I'm out of breath. So you guys go ahead and find Ghulab Janamz at their website at theyjanamz.com with a Z at the end. Facebook at /Ghulab Janamz, on Instagram at Sarmad Shalahuddin or Ghulab Janamz, and on YouTube go check out Ghulab Janamz and Aquarius Rising. It's an amazing song, awesome apocalyptic video. I totally love it. You can also find them on Twitter at /TJanamz. All right, welcome Sarmad to the show. Great to see you again. How are you doing?
Yeah, thank you very much, Veera. Thank you very much for inviting me in your show, and such a feeling that I really like to share that the whole process that I was involved into, and how I ended up and releasing that song in an apocalypse situation, in a lockdown when everything is locked down, and how things were not going my way when everything was open. And starting I don't want to go to like the really into my childhood days, like, because there'll be like too much of a story. But I always wanted to learn and do music at a good level. Back in that time, the late 90s in Pakistan, there were not many music schools who could teach rock music, or there were not many shop outlets where you could buy electrical guitars. So there was one art school called, it's a very renowned art school called National College of Arts. So I got myself admission into that. I had some good drawing abilities, so I that got me into architecture. So all the art forms, they have fairly the same history, and in their own technicalities they differ. For instance, in music, it changes from the broadcasting, from radio to television, and all the later tools which came. So I did architecture, and when I graduated, and I started to work in a few companies, and I didn't like it because of bad placement of Neptune planet in my natal chart. So it got me into a lot of daydreaming, like when I was a kid, and I used to. It was like architecture is a very logical and very practical field when it comes to practicing in the market. So that's not art anymore. That is more like construction and real estate when it's practiced in the field. So in that sense, I thought that I should get admission away from Pakistan and experience where all the globalized culture comes into these countries as well. People, the artists like which I liked from my childhood, like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Nirvana, Soundgarden. So I got myself admission into Pratt Institute, which is a very renowned art school in New York. So I did my master's in facilities and construction management. It was around 2006, yeah, 2006, and I graduated at the end of 2007. So it was time that US was going through some kind of turmoil, and the regime of who was the president at that time? Not Obama, the George W. Bush. So he was leaving the office, and Obama had to come in. So a lot of banks were on bailout, and I thought that'll be a good chance for me to move to or immigrate to Canada right now, and then later figure out what to do with it. So when I moved to Canada, so Canada was kind of a different job place market. So I tried to do some courses, but then I figured out that I should also focus on fulfilling my dreams as well, for which I moved to North America. So I got myself admission in Miriam Music School, and I started to learn music theory. And I used to ask a lot of questions, by the writing, how, Metallica, how they apply the effect to their guitars, and how they do this, and how do they this. I was so excited, and I used to practice the chords and write notes, and get myself prepared for for going to the class. So I also took singing lessons, and I started to write, the songs, and that process has really helped me a lot while writing the research papers. You give me a piece of paper, you write anything. I can make it into a song, or make it into a research paper. I can make it into a movie. I can make it into anything,
Yeah.
or maybe a sketch. Which I learned from Second City. So in Second City, Paul Bellini of Kids in the Hall, he was my instructor. So at first he thought that I'm just like wasting my time, or like I had no clue what I was doing. But later on, I think creative writing has a lot to do to opening up your mind to creative ideas. Sketching or drawing is one thing, but it depends. For some people, it works something, and for some people, it works something. Then I also performed at local bars and I did an internship at the FM radio in University of Toronto. Then I used to watch a lot of concerts, and that was the most amazing experience. I used to see these live bands and with big energy, and I felt that they sound so real, and it's just like you're experiencing that at like a 4D or 5D level when they're playing live. So it was quite an experience, and I thought that, yeah, when I saw the bigger artists such as Iron Maiden, which really influenced me for all later on throughout my the course of my listening of music. So
That's amazing. Remember, we went
then
to see Nine Inch Nails together.
oh yeah, yeah, and I was coming from. I remember I was coming from that concert. No, I was coming from Quebec, and you said that where are you going? I said I'm going to a concert, and said that. I mean, it was a wonderful experience,
Yeah, it
and
was
I
fun.
think Soundgarden played before Nine Inch Nails, and
Mhm.
it was great gig. And then after experimenting a lot, I thought that actually my family was missing me, and I thought that I should go back to Pakistan. And because I had some issues, here in Pakistan I had a big house, and I made myself a music studio here, and then
Nice.
a small architectural studio, and got myself a job as an instructor at University of Management Technology at Lahore in Pakistan. So
Amazing.
even at that time, I had no clue that what should I do. I used to collect musical instruments, and because of my Mercury in Pisces, I used to experiment. My mind was not still. Sometimes I'm playing piano, and sometimes I'm fiddling around with the bass. So when I met Idrees at Alhambra Arts Council at a gig, so I saw his vocals, and I told him, why don't you come to my place? We'll jam for some songs, and we'll see how it goes. So Idrees is from some other city called Quetta, and he wanted to get admission into musicology, masters in musicology program, and he's a quite a renowned singer in that area. So I told him, like I have these compositions, lined up. So I don't think so, because I don't feel that with your vocals, I think you will be a very good fit, and we should start working together. And at that time, I thought a bit relieved that someone is taken over or something, and now I should focus on the songwriting and the managerial aspect of it, and I should focus on my the courses that I teach to my students. So there was already a lot on my plate, and so Idris then got admission in Lahore, and he continued his school. Then we used to meet on weekends, and then our producer, he said, "Okay, guys, why don't you put, instead of wasting my time and your money, so why don't you put four of your best songs and compose it and release it one by one, and you should make a strategy, how you're going to market it." So at that time, actually, I wrote this song Boleyga in 2012,
Mhm.
and back at that time, the concept was different. And later on, and I also jammed it with some other musicians in Toronto. They really liked that song.
It's
And
amazing. I
when
love it.
yeah, so when to me, I think music, or good music, what we see in the media is a work of superstars. So if you have to be, you have to work with the superstars who are the best in the people. So unfortunately, I find all the good people who work with me, and then this first song is about was initially climate change, and the second song is that we have also ready. I'm going to release that in probably at the end of next month. It's about transcendence, and I think if I have to, because right now everything is shut down. If I have to make a video of it, I will look for it, some kind of artificial intelligence or animation or Tron Legacy kind of thing.
Nice.
So if I get lucky, if I get to find a good producer, we'll go for that. The third song is about equality of. It's about universality, and it's a tribute to women from cradle to the grave. So that's how I'm gonna shoot it like this. It's like a tribute to
It's a life
women
cycle.
out there. And my other songs are pretty much like Fleetwood Mac, and it has a lot of different vibes. You definitely you like it. And
Thank
there's
you.
one song that I made on graduation, because I teach to a lot of students, and in Pakistan there are a lot of private universities, and none of the artists they actually they work on student, because a lot of graduate in a semester, and no one makes any songs for their graduation. So then once our songs were in good shape, so I wanted to get them mixed and mastered. So in 2018, I remember 2018, yeah, I came to Toronto, and there was one guy wanted to get it mixed mastered, and well, he couldn't do the job. So I was not happy with the drums, and I wasted some money, a lot of money, and then I had to go back. It was the same trip. I had to go to Turkey and Ukraine. Plus, I went to Georgia and Armenia as well.
Amazing.
So that was quite a trip. Yeah.
Wow. So would you like us to play Boleyga?
Yeah. So,
and then we can talk more about the actual process of creating it.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. Here's Boleyga, guys, which actually means Aquarius Rising. I love it. So it's got this amazing apocalyptic tone. And you guys, I have an announcement too. So I'm doing a cover of Boleyga, and it will be released next week. So can't wait to share it with you.
Yeah.
So you were
Very
right.
special thanks to this amazing lady, Vera Berman.
Oh, thank you. So you were so right. His voice is just, it fits so well with this concept. So tell us more about the process of mastering, recording, putting together the song in a studio.
Yeah, actually, Vera, I was not me and my singer. We were never satisfied. He had always, oh, so there's something wrong with my vocals. I want to redo it. Man, I said that this guy is super busy. He cannot come. He has to lay the tracks. And also, Amir Ajmal is always busy with the best of the best artists in the Pakistan.
Yeah.
And so what happened was after then through Idrees's contact, because Idrees has his instructors are also very well known in Pakistan. They are very well known performers. So they hooked him up to Adnan Gill. He's also based in Virginia. So there's another thing that you have to get your songs done with people who are doing already work of superstars. So they know how to make how does how the most the best selling artists, they do their songs. So he did a good job, and Idrees was not satisfied with vocal. He redid his vocals, and we were running late and late and late. And what happened? I actually got these two songs which were ready, and I used to go to the sponsors, to this Green Building Council, who makes sustainable material for buildings. Okay, I have the songs. Are you interested in that? I said, okay, your songs sound good, but how are we going to sell our material with that? You know what I'm saying? So that is one thing. The sponsors, if they had to come in, they could have changed everything of the song. Then I went to the commissioner of the building department. He listened to the song and he said that, how can I help you? So he had no clue, that what that song is all about. Then I had no intention of making it into a apocalypse. That songs automatically transformed it into that way. Since then I'm a firm believer in destiny, that things will always happen. You don't know the unit, only the universe knows.
Yeah.
So I wrote the storyboard of the song, and I sat down with this film and TV producer. And he's from the same school that I graduated. By that time, there were no film and TV program. Now we have a musicology program as well. And after 2010, there has been a flood of private universities in Pakistan, and they did a good job. They invest in new programs, and learning music and film and TV is, I think, there are more architecture schools in Lahore known than the rest of the Toronto, because education here is a big business. So once it becomes a business, so it has been copied and copied and copied, and there's a competition, and things get improved. So Amir Malazai, he said that that song, it fits into post-apocalyptic genre. So I had some experience of Second City and looking into the movie and movie genres. I said, okay, so then what are you going to do with it? So he said that I have a building in mind. So we're going to go there, and we'll see that, that we go on the rooftop, and that's a barren building. And
love it. I love it. It looks epic.
Yeah. Some buildings, what happens, they don't get finished up in time. So there's always a dispute. So when the projects are not finished on time, so there's always the prices get escalated, and the project is like it becomes a barren building. So anyways, so then Amir said that I have a girl in mind, so she's going to be the mastermind. And she's the head of the mime department. She's the mime artist, and she can do a good job. I mean,
Nice.
being a mime artist, she's always busy. And she said, okay, let me do. I'm only available on that day. I'll come in for like 3-4 hours, and just tell me what to do with it.
Mhm.
So we arranged the makeup artist, and the makeup artist, she did a very good job, making me into
Oh, I love these tattoos.
color.
Yeah, I love all these
Yeah,
CGI tattoos as well that you guys did. It looked amazing.
yeah, yeah. That idea actually, I did all the research from this the circuits in the computer.
Mhm.
So I sketched around it, and I made a lot of photocopies, and we sit together, and she did it like she was and she did it in like in half an hour, and then we did those running shots, and then for the building shot, it was a lot of running around, and I owned all these equipment, and I had to pay the drummer, he had to be on the side, and I mean, I saved a lot of money for it, so that it was our dream project for me and Idrees to release it. So, funny thing, what happened? The makeup artist, uh, the tattoo artist, she did his job, but the makeup artist on the day of the shoot, he didn't show up at the set. So I had a lot of masks. So I gave to all these session players, okay, put this mask on. At that time, there was no lockdown. There was
Yeah.
no apocalypse.
Wow. So you
And
guessed it.
yeah, and so we had this mask on, and when we did all the shoot, and then I had some problem with it, and I said that the movie director, he should have focused on the performances of the drummer and the guitar player. And now what we gonna do now? Now we I can tell you more. Like it's like we lost the ship, and we had to cover that in the ship. And he said, okay, let's think about it, or maybe we might do it, we might not do it. And it was like we shot that in middle of February or something, and there was the first corona case reported in Pakistan, Lahore, was on the 26th. And
Wow.
on it was like 9th of March that I was coming out from my university, and there was everywhere in the radio that things are shutting down and we have a virus and all that. So okay, not a big deal. It'll get open in 1 or 2 weeks. 1 week passed and 2 passed, and then all the conspiracy theories and the social media, they were bringing out, okay, this thing is for real and it's going to be an apocalypse. And I called that guy. I mean, do you really want to wait now, because we are already in the apocalypse right now, and that thing is for real. So I was like, I had no idea that we were making a song on a post-apocalyptic times,
Mhm.
and the narrative was never actually, we had nothing in mind that we will be in an apocalypse in one month. So yeah, so then I wrote the initial lines, the starting lines, and I had this, I was reading somewhere that they identified a planet like Earth, it's the same as in Kepler 432, and there's a man who falls on to the earth, and there's a singer he's frustrated, and he wants to sing his own way, and the producer doesn't allow him. So they all get to meet by a mastermind in a haunted in a barren building,
Yeah.
and when they meet, they actually hack the transmission of the entire city,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I
Or
saw that.
maybe the world. Yeah. So then they played out the song "Hum Boleyga Tum Sunega." It's my turn and you gotta listen. So
Mm.
and that was the whole idea. And I tried to get the song played at many news channels, they refused it. They said that you were showing this, this 5G antenna conspiracy and all that. Man, I said that I didn't, intentionally, shot these antennas. Actually, the idea was that the transmission is hacked and it's gonna get viral and they're gonna, play out the idea of Greenpeace in the world. So, I mean, till now, up till now, my students they had no idea that I kind of write that kind of songs, that kind
Wow.
of
So it's truly
material.
like it's like you said,
So
it's fate that you didn't know about this lockdown we're gonna have. But yeah, when you're pursuing your true passion, that's what comes out, and it just fits so well with what we're going through at the
it
moment.
fits so well. You have no clue that that it will fit. I wanted to release that song in 2018 or maybe start of 2019,
Mhm.
and it was sometimes the producer was not available, the mixing guy, the mastering guy was not available, and there were delays upon delays, and we were just waiting. We can't do anything. We paid all the money. Here's the thing. You know, good songs, they are always a work of the best artists, best people, and the best people they are always busy.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, either they are touring around or either they are someone has paid them a lot of money or okay you gonna have to get it done, okay I'll pay you like that amount of money, x amount of money, you get it done in the weekend, so they stop everything and they just see where the money is coming from.
Yeah.
So and then uh, finally when I get to release that song, and I had no clue that what promotion is all about, and I'm pretty old school in that sense that I have. I was still in the MTV mind frame that I'm going to release that song and a lot of expectations.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of record labels that they are contacting me, and I'm in a process of negotiating what can I do the best to promote it. So and then I had no idea about how what a monetized channel, YouTube channel is. I should have like made vlogs of all the travels that I did
Oh
to
yes.
different countries and put that music in process so that something is coming. So in that
Great.
case, I could have like a considerable subscribers to my page. So I mean, you only get to know those things when it comes. You only become a father when you have a kid. So it takes
Yeah.
things take a while to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's a process. You
Yeah.
got to enjoy the process because if you're not, then why are you even doing it, right?
Yeah. So and yeah, and then now I started filling up my social media pages like 2 3 months ago. Started so because of this lockdown, now you have no option because you have to do everything remotely,
Mhm.
and whatever you have to promote it. Make your pages, make us synchronize your pages that you are this and you do this as well, and because you have to become your own unique story.
Yes, that's true. Your story that speaks
Yeah.
to others and they can relate to it and they can connect with you and listen to your music and that helps them through a difficult time like what we're going through right now.
Yes, absolutely.
I'd like to play another song if you don't mind. So we have Goro Kinakalo. Is that right? Or am I
Hmm.
butchering it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go to
Great. And then we can speak about the topics in it, okay? Because I know this one is very, very current. So here we go.
yeah, we'll talk briefly and then yeah,
Okay. Goro
you just
Kinakalo.
play.
यहाँ खुश होके जी ले यार, करना है कुछ अगर तुझे जी भर के कर ले प्यार, जीना है दिन चार यहाँ खुश होके जी ले यार, करना है कुछ अगर तुझे जी भर के कर ले प्यार, क्या तेरा क्या मेरा बुला दे मेरे यार, क्या तेरा क्या मेरा बुला दे मेरे यार, गोरों की न कालों की दुनिया है दिल वालों की, गोरों की न कालों की, ओ दुनिया है दिल वालों की, हंस के जिए हंस के मरे हम जैसे दिल वालों की, ओ गोरों की न कालों की दुनिया है दिल वालों की, गोरों की न कालों की, ओ दुनिया है दिल वालों
Woo! That was awesome. So tell us, what does it
Yeah.
mean? What does the title mean? And what does it stand for?
Actually, this is a cover. It's a cover of an Indian movie song, and I made this into rock, jazzy kind of,
Love
rendition of this song. And it's basically, have you heard of the song, Michael Jackson song, Black or White?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's pretty much saying that the world is not of the white people or the black people. It's the people who have heart.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
And
true.
it's very true. And I also relate to the current situation, that there are racial crisis that we're going through, that the Black Lives Matter or blah 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 and all that. I think this song is an excellent fit for that. And if we properly get it played in the radio channels in Toronto or Canada, so I think this song is going to do really good. Also, I wanted to mention that I happened to visit Iran in 2016. Yeah,
Cool.
2016. Yeah. And I was a state guest over there. And actually, by the time I actually started working on these songs, it was my daily ritual that while going to my school or work, I used to play all my songs in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I still listen to them, like it's just like the mission of my life in an artistic way. So it's not many people are able to understand the real what was going behind Boleyga. So I might make it behind the scene
Mm-hmm.
a video of it.
I'd love to
So
see that. I'd
let's
love to
see.
see how it was
Yeah.
made, how you shot it all. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, because I do have all the clips with me, and that teaser you can look it down, because that thing also it's in it's in the people are saying that we might have Earth might get hit by an asteroid or something. So it's in the teaser, you can look at it in the teaser. You'll see an asteroid hitting the Earth. So I mean, it's all was that actually I directed. I did it all by myself, the teaser, and all the designing on my web pages, all the content I wrote it myself. So it was like lockdown. It was a lot of work, and since everything is shut down, and also what I was planning that I'm gonna label that thing with my architectural practice,
Mm-hmm.
and I will give astrological readings and link that feng shui readings in the evening. So that was all lined up, and I was thinking to rent a commercial space with a friend of mine. So, but since there's lockdown, and everything is shut down, I can't seem to do anything.
Well, you can
So
still do
that
it. You can do it just like right now. We're talking. You can still help people, I think. You can make a log.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of girls on Instagram, since in my, I actually changed it, it was mentioned as a soldier. So I wanted a lot of shout outs. So while I was promoting my music, I said that if you give me a shout out, I'll give you an astrological reading for free.
Nice.
So, yeah, so in that case, and I got a very good reading from that.
Excellent.
So that is one an amazing area. One needs to really get a reading of it to get to know yourself before you plan things in your life. I think it's an amazing knowledge, and I also do teach architectural psychology, and psychology was developed from astrology, and Kong never told it to the rest of the world. And now people are, beginning to know that his all his teachings that he did a lot of pilgrims to spiritual countries. That in China he learned I Ching, so that's how he became a pioneer in archetypes. So and with the sustainability of buildings and climate change, I already teach that subject as green and sustainable. But the problem is, you can arrange like hundreds of climate change seminars or conferences, but in the end, if your entertainment lacks these intellectual issues, then you can't do anything. That has to be a part of your entertainment. Then especially students and the young people are beginning to will realize that that's a serious issue. Otherwise, you keep writing these research papers, and no one will will even read or understand. Yeah.
The other day
Because it's technical.
the other day we actually had a discussion about it with Gary Diggins from Silence Hearing Wealth, and we talked about how artists are actually activists in the way that through our music we promote unity and kindness and love and just having people unite through artwork.
And if you now, while I was taking my professional practice classes, and my students said, "How do you know that this event is going to happen and you made a song out of it?" And I said that, and I said, "Okay, why don't you YouTube just put post talk with it? You find 10-minute movies or maybe 30-minute movies. There's a ton of movies. I mean, you gotta update your knowledge. Why don't you? I mean, I always advise my students that try to learn the intellectual meanings, the concept behind your favorite movies. That's how you get to know that those movies were actually based on a lot of research. They were there for real.
Yeah, that's amazing. Excellent. Well, I would like to play something very special with you right now. So towards the end of our interview, I like to play sort of like a rapid fire game.
Yeah.
Are you up for it?
Yeah.
So in under a minute, I'm going to ask you 10 questions that you have to answer basically the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay? Are you up for it?
Yeah.
Yes?
Fire it.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. What is your most memorable performance?
It was at Kukulin's bar. There was a lot of musicians over there. I really liked it.
Amazing.
I played the same song.
Awesome. At what age did you begin creating music?
21 or 22. I actually tried to play it, but I had to learn it. So to me, I tried to follow the tabs and all that.
No
But I
worries.
would say 20, 21. Yeah.
Okay. What are the names of your pets?
I don't have any pets.
Okay. How many instruments do you own?
Oh, I don't have a drum kit, but other than that, I have everything that a band needs.
What motivates you, in short?
What motivates me? My music.
All right. Which YouTuber you just can't stop watching?
Anything on Apocalypse or maybe prophecies or about, I mean, there's a lot of things to it, mostly new age stuff, I would say.
Yeah, amazing.
Astrology
We're
and
running
like
out of
that.
time, but I don't see why we can't finish the questions because I'm learning a lot. So, what are your favorite songs to cover? Name three.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of. I think U2 is a great band to learn songwriting. Beatles is like a bible of songwriting, and Iron Maiden is a bible of artistic metal.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
Great. Name three
yeah.
people that you admire.
My dad and my mom and my astrological teachers. Yeah.
Amazing. Do you like dogs or cats?
Um, I like dogs.
Okay. Name three artists that you follow on Instagram.
Three artistics.
That you follow on Instagram.
Um, Other than any makeup artist,
Well, artists, musicians like you and me.
okay. I mean, anything that clicks, I would definitely, I'll
Okay.
follow, not about. I go by my instincts.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. Thank you so much for playing, and thank you for coming to the show. I feel like I've learned so much, and I've known you for many years. And every time we meet, it's like I discover something new. And I absolutely love your Boleyga track. I can't wait to release it for you guys because I made a cover on
Yeah,
my
yeah, sure.
balcony.
Awesome, awesome. I
I
can
found the most
I'll share it with my students on
amazing.
my other pages, and they will love it. I can clearly say that this is an amazing artist. You should watch it.
Woohoo! Thank you. And I found the most apocalyptic spot on my 14th floor balcony to shoot. All right. Before we go, guys, don't forget you can always find awesome music by Ghulab Janamz at their website at thejanamz.com, on Facebook /Ghulab Janamz, on Instagram at Sarmad or Ghulab Janamz, which is now your new name, I know. On YouTube, look up Ghulab Janamz, Boleyga, or Aquarius Rising. You will find a beautiful video, amazing video that I watched, and it's just like I'm blown away by it. I can't believe you guys did it all by yourself and in such a short notice. This is amazing. So find him on Twitter too, at tjanams. And why don't we do one sort of like closing statement? Tell me, what would be the biggest advice you would give to a younger artist entering in the world of music today and trying to basically put their music out there? What do you advise they do to find their true
Yeah,
voice?
I would say believe in yourself and be practical as well. Don't be Neptunian. You should have Virgo traits as well.
Excellent. I completely agree. Thank you so much. So I can't wait for your new release. I know you have another song coming out as well, and I can't wait. I'll be in touch very soon, so I can't wait to launch all of these things and share them with you guys on all of the social media. Thank you so much for being on the show. Can't wait. Maybe
Thank you
we'll
very
have
much.
you back someday when you have a new video or a new song coming out. Send me a message. I'll be happy to do another interview so you can tell us more about your process and how these things came to be as well.
All right.
All right, thank you. Here you go, guys.
Thank you so
Have
much.
an amazing day, everybody.
That's all, folks. If you like Iris Fiddle songs, download them at earverminted.com/music. See you next time.